Thank you, madam, for introducing me. I'm Anupam Tripathi, currently working as a young professional second at Indian Institute of Pulses Research. Uh, Today, I'm going to talk about Rajma's post-harvest technology, processing, and value additions. So let's start with the first facts and figures of pulses, and after that we will start with the Rajmas. So pulses and legumes have been produced and consumed in India over millennia, as per the NANE 2006. Currently, India is the largest producer and consumer of pulses in the world, but consumption exceed than production. So we have to import the pulses from outside. The total pulses production scenario during 2021 and 2022 is about 26.95 million ton. It is different in Kharif, Rabi, and Zayad also, but mostly the two major seasons of productions are Kharif and Rabi. Next is per capita net availability of pulses is 17.5 kg per year per annum in India. India's National Institute of Nutritional Nutrition recommends that 80 grams of pulses per person is available intake. Pulse availability to decline from 60 gram to 60 gram per capita per day in 1951, which has declined to 45 gram now in 2021, as per the Directorate of Pulses Development. Pulse production will have to grow at annual rate of 2.2% to meet the projected demand of 39 million tons in 2050, IIPR 2015. This is the demand of 2021, which is 28.18 million ton, but the production has taken place, which is 25.72. Now the target which is given in 2021 and 2022 is about 29.26, and what we have produced is 26.96 million ton. So if we will increase, if you can see the trends, if we will increase the production of pulses, in the same way, the dependency on the import will going to decrease, right? So what we have to do is we have to make sure to produce more pulses. Now let's talk about the common bean, also called Rajma in Hindi. Common bean Phaseolus vulgaris, its common its botanical name is extensively consumed legume globally, known as for its nutritional value, versatility in culinary applications, and significant contribution to the food security in many regions of world and India also. It has a production over 26 million tons in 2022 as per the FAO stat, and it is the one of the most important legume in African and American region, as well as India also. Common bean is cultivated in various parts of the world, with the major production region including Asia, America, and Africa. As per FAO stat 2021, approximately 31 million hectares is dedicated to the common bean production. They thrive in diverse climate and adaptable to the different agriculture system, making them an important crop for both small-scale farmers and for commercial cultivation. Common beans are rich in essential nutrients such as protein, dietary fibers, vitamins, and minerals. They are low in fat, cholesterol-free, and contain phytochemicals with potential health benefit, including antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties. Further, post-harvest handling of common bean plays a significant role in the level of quantitative and qualitative losses experienced in the food grain and supply chain. Now, let's talk about what are the constituents of the post-harvest system. As per the Hidden Harvest 1976, the post-harvest system should be thought of as encompassing the delivery of crop from the time and place of harvest to the time and the place of consumption with a minimum loss and maximum efficiency with maximum return of all involved. For example, you can see the flowchart of how the total harvesting system, post-harvest harvest system works. For example, from here growers which who harvest and thresh dry the crops. After that, it will going to on-farm storage, and from on-farm storage it will going to transfer the central storage, which is used for the import and export. Further, it will go to the primary processing. From primary processing, it will directly go to the consumer, or it may go to the wholesaler or a retailer for the further secondary processing, or after that secondary processing, it will again go to the consumers. So this is how whole post harvest system works in the crop. Technologies for post harvest system in the crops is post harvest operation. Harvest. There are two types of practices which we adopt, which is traditional technologies, and second one is improved technologies. In case of traditional technology, we generally manually harvest the crop, but in case of improved technologies, we harvest manually as well as in a mechanized manner. For pre-drying, we generally go for standing or in for shocks. But in case of improve, standing or shocks is also very common, because these are the major. But if you want, you can also opt for a machines called dryer, and or you can also for sun dryer. These are the basic methods for the pre-drying. Storage of harvested crops, it can be in field or on threshing floor. But in case of improved technology, in the field or on the threshing floor, it can also be used. The difference is threshing can be done manually in generally in traditional technologies, but in case of improved technologies, pre-cleaning and threshing both are done mechanically. Drying, it is also done naturally in case of sun drying, artificial. But in case of, I have already explained that in case of improved technology, we use dryers and the other machines for drying the crop. Cleaning and sorting. In traditional technologies, we just go for the winnowing in the wind by using the traditional equipment like winnower, and by just fanning of by a mechanical fan. But in case of improved technologies, we use mechanical fan, and some sort of tractors and different types of machines are there which can be used for the cleaning and storage, cleaning and sorting. Storage of grains, we use general like pots and drums, but in case of improved, we use bags and bulk technologies. Now there are different kinds of storage structures which can be used, and the nowadays farmers are using these technologies. In case of processing, it is done in manually and mechanized in improved technologies. Let's talk about the post-harvest losses in pulses. The extent of loss depends on the farm level, unit operations, and post-harvest activities. A countrywide study measuring crop losses revealed that 3.9% to 6% cereals, and 4.3 to 6.1% in pulses, and 2.8% to 10.1% in oilseed, and afterwards 5.8% to 18.1% of fruits, and 6.9 to 13% in vegetables were lost during harvesting, post-harvest activities, handling, and storage. So this is the average idea that how in the pulses and other crops are losses and during the post-harvest technologies. So now you can understand that what are the importance of post-harvest system in different pulses as well as in common bean and other crops also. During the storage, pulses are prone to damage due to insect 5%, more so than wheat 2.5%, paddy 2%, and maize in 3.5%. So now you can see that this is the percentage which is fixed by the post-harvest losses. So what we have to do, we have to reduce these losses. We cannot 100% finish it, but we can reduce it very least of the least. Losses at the post-harvest stage depends upon the handling, transportation, storage conditions, types of storage structures, insect molds and fungi, birds, spillage, pilferage, and rodents. So these are also the conditions or the things which influence the post-harvest losses. Next is types of losses at different post-harvest stages. For example, if we late harvest, so what are the problem consequences we will going to handle? So if we late harvest, so we will going to face shattering losses due to attack of birds and other pests also. Sometimes maybe there are rodents which attack the crop. Insufficient drying of grains, losses due to development of molds and insect. In suppose we haven't dried the crop a minimum level of moisture to so we the molds will going to germinate on the crop and it will affect the loss. Means it will going to affect the crop. Definitely the loss will going to increase. Improper threshing. So if threshing is not done properly, so the broken grains and the threads of insect will going to increase at the later stage. Poor storage system is also very important. If you are going to store it, if you are going to store this seed for a grain for the seed purpose next year sowing. So the proper moisture and aeration and everything matters. Improper milling, broken and powdering losses. If milling is not done very clearly or properly, so the loss will going to takes place as a powder. Transport facility, quantitative loss. If transportation is not done, so we will going to lose greens. If it is unfilled properly, it is not filled in a proper storage structure. So this will going to reduce the amount of grain. Effective packaging in the same way, it will going to lose the quantitative as well as qualitative of the quantitative and the qualitative way of post-harvest loss. Different drivers of post-harvest losses across the post-harvest value chain. So these are the different phases, stages in which we are facing the problem of post-harvest losses. Different activities like harvesting, drying, grading, sorting, producing, aggregation, loading, and transporting. So at this stage, what are the post-harvest losses can be takes place? So improper harvesting leads to crop losses during the crop post-harvest. Lack of primary post-harvest, lack of primary processing soon after harvesting adversely affects shelf life and increased post-harvest losses. In the same way, if you are storing crop and storage of crop and crop protection, so what are the activities we are doing is pre-cooling, packaging, ripening, cold storing, and warehousing, quality control assessment. So the losses we are going to face here is infrastructure. Infrastructure, the major thing which we are lacking here, especially for cold storage and pack houses. Poor storage structure and crop protection facilities contribute to the significant spoilage in crops. Currently, we are having poor storage in case of village also because and they are some of the farmers have a good amount of land and they have also have a good amount of production also, but they never like not never, but they mostly sell their crop on time. The reason behind this that they are not having a facility that much of facility to store a crop for the next season or for the time when they get most of the benefit, right? So this is the problem in our system. Next is processing. In case of processing, the grading, sorting, and secondary processing activities takes place. Uh, what are the activities we are doing here is, and the huge gap in the food processing significantly limits value addition. In India, only 2% of the total farmers and workers produced are processed currently. Inadequate processing capabilities, particularly near farm, contributes significantly to the post-harvest losses. Next is market linkage. For market linkage, what we do is packaging of seeds branding, transporting, market information, wholesale market, and retail markets. So we do these things, these activities for the market in case of market linkage. So we face lack of market information and linkage both contribute to the post-harvest losses. Suppose if we are not having a good knowledge of market, so at the end the crop will going to stay over at home only. So the crop will lead directly to the loss because if we are not going to store that crop properly, so the molds and the other things which the factors which we are going to affect there, they will definitely going to increase. Next is estimated post harvest losses in pulses. So these are the an average amount which will loss at the different stages of harvesting, or means different stages of post harvest, different post harvest stages. So first one is harvesting. We'll lose around 1 to 3%, handling 1 to 7%, threshing, which is around 0.5 to 5%, drying 1.0 to 5%, transport, which is around 0.5%, primary processing 1%, storage 5 to 10%. Milling, in case of milling, it is the major proportion which covers the major proportion of in case of pulses, which is around 15 to 20%. So it is total around 25 to 50% of the losses can take place if we are not going to take proper techniques and manage the post harvest losses. This is then an average amount from 25 to 50%, and 50% is a huge. It is a huge amount which can leads to the severe financial condition. I mean severe attack in case of your conditions if you are not aware about post harvest losses. Madam, I'm audible clearly or not? Madam? So yes, what
Yeah,
is
please
harvesting?
continue.
Okay, okay. So let's start with the harvesting. What is harvesting? So it is an operation of gathering the useful part of a part or a plant, and it is carried out at the time when all the nutrients have developed and the edible parts have reached the appropriate degree of maturity and the proper moisture content. Next is harvest should take place at the time when the grain has a moisture content in the range of 15 to 20%. It is an average amount. If we need for the storage, so we can reduce this moisture at the time after harvesting or threshing, right? So it is the procedure. The most appropriate time of harvesting is determined by based upon the length of the growing cycle, which is different as per the crop to crop and varieties to varieties, and also the degree of maturity of the grain. It also varies as per the crop and the type of crop, all the duration of the crop. Next is harvesting operations in common way. Majorly, there are two types of harvesting operations. First one is hand harvesting, and second one is mechanical harvesting. Hand harvesting is done by hand with the simple farming implements like a sickle or a machines when the pods are ripe but not yet open. To harvest the crop by hand, the plants are pulled up and allowed to pre-dry in the sun. Next is mechanical harvesting. For mechanical harvesting, we use different types of machines or combine harvester, which are designed for wheat, but we can also adapt for the pulses or the common wheat. So here are the different maturity indices in different pulse crop. In case of pigeon pea, the physical characteristics are pod ripen and black color, lower leaves start falling. In case of chickpea, dried stems and leaves, oat bean, pod ripe and black, shell dried, mung bean, pod ripe and black in color, and the shell is dried. In case of Rajma, leaves get yellow and the plant will also going to start yellowing and not yellowing, but it will start drying and the shell will also dry start drying. In case of lentil, upper leaves dry and pods are getting pale yellow. In case of field pea, upper and leaves dry and pods get pale yellow. So pre-drying. So it is a very important stage uh, after harvesting. It is a stage of post-harvest system during which the harvested product is dried in order to undergo the next operation for threshing and under the best possible condition. So pre-drying, if suppose if your crop is matured, physiological matured, so what you have to do is you have to cut the crop and put it down in the floor. You can dry up there. This is called pre-drying. Why it is important? At the time of harvesting, the cut portions of a plant may contain too much of green plants matter, and all the green may not have reached the uniform degree of maturity. So the moisture content is too high. This makes the pre-drying essential because if you are not having the uniform moisture content or uniformity in the maturity, so pre-drying makes it very uniform and there's the pre-drying comes into the importance because it will going to take the whole crop or a whole field in a same condition. So how we will going to perform pre-drying? So in case of this, we have majorly two types of pre-drying. Once or the first one is once the maturity has been reached, the crop is allowed to pre-dry standing in the field before harvesting. But there are three types of disadvantages which we have to face. First one is shattering of grain. It will also going to lose means we are going to lose our grain in case by the shattering. Next one is it can also be attacked by a pest, rodents and birds. So these are the next disadvantages of this technique. It will also get infested by the insect, molds and other bacteria and other fungi also, which can leads to the development of the disease or the seed which is infected and it will going to infest the whole lot of seed, which is not good for the next season. And very long use of occupation of the field creates problem for using the land for a second crop. Suppose if you have taken a full crop for that, so the next crop, subsequent crop will going to have get a less amount of time for or the sowing of that crop will going to be affected by the this maturity or this type of redrying action. So what we have to do is we have to place the newly harvested crop piles in the field or the on the drying floor for a proper time, exposure in the air or in the sunshade to reduce the moisture content of the grain to the desired level. So the means these are the two techniques, but it depends upon the farmer's choice or the person how what are the facilities available on the farm. So but the best one is the second technique, which is good for drying. Next component of post harvest is threshing. It is the operation of separating the grains from the plants. These operations may be carried out in the field or on the threshing floor by hand or with the help of animals or machines. Threshing methods in pulses. So first one is hand threshing. simply what we have to do, we have to rub that crop with the help of hands. Second one is threshing with the animals or tractors. It is mostly followed in the mobile areas. Threshing with animals is mostly followed in mobile areas, but nowadays tractors are also very common in these types of places. So these are the also I mean, these are the also techniques which can be used for the threshing. Next is threshing with the hand driven machines. Nowadays very there are various types of machines, hand driven machines are there in the market, which can be used for the threshings of various pulses as well as cereals and different types of crops. Threshing with motorized threshers. Threshers are the means major for major. They can be majorly used in the cereals, but they can nowadays they are also available for the pulses in case of pulses. These are the threshing capacity of different threshers. Sonalika, Amar, CI, Central Institute of Agriculture Engineering, 7SP Motors. So these are the different machines which can be used for the uh, threshing the crops, different crops, their capacity. Drying. So first we have talked about the pre-drying. Now this drying is used for the seed. Yeah, because until and unless we don't have a suitable amount of moisture, so for the storage, so we cannot store that. So it is a very important function in case of pulses, not in case of pulses, but in case of every crop. Drying is the phase of post-harvest system during which the product is rapidly dried until it reaches the safe moisture level. After threshing, the moisture content of a grain remains generally higher than the desired for the safe storage of grain, which is 13 to 14%. And but in case of pulses, it is 9 to 12%. Yes, it is around 9 to 12%, but it varies as per the crop to crop. For drying grain, essentially two methods is used, which is natural drying and artificial drying are used. For natural drying, we use uh, the we used to dry these crops in floor in the sun dry. But in case of artificial drying, we use different kinds of machines. For example, heated dryer or dryers, different kinds of dryers. Dryers are used for the uh, drying these seeds. First one is heated dryer. It is used, and there is a heated air is injected inside the dryer, and the grain will going to reduce its moisture, and the we will get the desired amount of moisture content. But in case of unheated air, there is dehumidifier. It is put it in the shade or in sun dry and box. But the dehumidifier, the moisture which is released from the seed, it will removed by the dehumidifier. If we will not perform this action or this component of post harvest, you will definitely going to lose your crop in a good amount, because moisture is very important component for the microorganisms as well as insect. If you are having a good amount of moisture or a favorable amount of moisture for the insect, so they will the insect and the pest as well as your microorganisms will definitely affect your crop as well as your seed. So make sure to dry your seeds before storing. Storage. Storing successfully requires a balance between ideal and harvest storage conditions. After drying, the storage also plays a very crucial role because uh, uh, for a whole year or a long period of time, the crop or a grain, it is going to stored in the structures and the place. So it should be very clean, and it has a crucial importance or a cruciality in the post harvest system, so that uh, it can be the infestations as well as the attack by different rodents, and the the losses due to this component can be reduced. So for storing successfully requires a balanced ideal harvest and storage conditions. Harvesting at 12 to 14% moisture content captures grain quality and reduce the mechanical damage to the seed. Meticulous hygiene and aeration cooling are the first lines of defense against pest in occurrence. Next one is common bean is more difficult to store than cereals, as the reason is it suffers from the different kinds of insect, store 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 grain pest insect, and the microorganisms. Damage ranging from 30 to 70% of the grain has been reported in the various publications. Sorry. Most important factors of grain deterioration are the interactions of temperature, humidity, and moisture. As I told you previously, that temperature, humidity, and moisture plays a very important role in case of microorganisms as well as insect and rodents also. So we should take care of these kinds of things. So there are key points which should be remembered while storing your crop. The best way to increase the shelf life of a stored grain is to lower the temperature of area of storage. Next one is the important, and that the temperature of the storage area, if possible, should be below 25 degrees Celsius, and the relative humidity of the storage chamber should be 15% or less, especially when grains are stored in for a seed purpose. One thing that I want to mention here for the seed purpose, that in case of common bean, it is very important to store a seed in a very cold chamber, because if you are not going to store, it will lose your viability. And viability if you are storing the common bean for a viability purpose, or sorry, for the seed purpose, so it is very crucial to store at a very and cool temperature. Even I have seen that there are lots of means genotypes that if they are not proper regenerated, or they are not stored in a proper condition, so they lose their viability. So if you don't, if you are not caring about all these things, you will not going to take another crop from that seed. So make sure to give a proper treatment to your common bean if you want to use this crop next season for the seed purpose. Maximum recommended storage period, moisture content should be, if you are storing for 20 degrees Celsius, if you are storing for the temperature, means these are the grain temperature and moisture content. If you are storing in 14 degrees Celsius for 3 months, and not applicable in case of more than 3. 13% of moisture if you are storing for 9 months, and 20 degrees Celsius of your temperature. 3 months, if you are storing for 3 months, so you should have 13 degrees Celsius of moisture, 13% of moisture content, and the 30 degrees Celsius of your temperature. If you are storing for more than 9 months, so moisture content should be 12%, or your 20 degrees Celsius should be your temperature, or for 9 months, it can be around 30 degrees Celsius, right? So next is storage methods. So what are the storage methods uh, we are using in a traditional way, or traditional knowledge, or in an advanced way? So in indigenous technical knowledge on pulses storage, what we do is drying and packing directly. Next thing what we do is mix with the other crops, grains, and we will pack it. Another one is storage in earthen pots or pot fine structure. There are different types of storage structures, which I will going to show you in the next slide. But these are the traditional pot structures which can be made in the rural areas. Mixing of different plant materials with the pulses grain. For example, Azadirictica indica, neem. We use these leaves, and we store grains because that we know that it has a different properties which removes or keep the insect and pest away from the storage grain. Oil coating to pulses grain. For example, there are different kinds of oil, but castor oil is used in case of in cereals also, and as well as in pulses to store the seed, because it has also uh, the content which keeps the insect away from your storage grain. Next one is bulk or open storage. Large quantities of food grain can be stored. It doesn't have difficulty in loading and unloading of grains. No need to purchase storage containers like gunnies, bag, and etc. Insect incidence is less than bag storage. Even this can be eliminated by the fumigation in situ. For example, if you have tirpal or cover for that, you can fumigate that crop, and then so it will make your crop safe from the different kinds of insect or the storage insect and pest which are going to affect your crop. Okay. So improved rural level storage structures. First one is bitumen and coal tar drum, hapur bean and kothis. This is metal bean. This is bitumen coal. This is bamboo bean, or this is hapur kothis, bean or kothis. So there are, every region has their different kinds of storage structures, and they may varies in shape and size as per the region and their traditions. But nowadays there are lots of advanced structure also, like silo and many other structures which, but mostly the companies are using silo for storing a large amount of seeds. Stored grain pest and their control. The most important is the insect damaging common bean in the field and the storage is referred to as brookids or pulse beetle. It is a very severe insect which affects the crop in the storage conditions. This is having a different species. The genus Calestobrunches has large number of species representing from Calestobrunches maculatus, and second one is chinensis, and third one is analis. The maculatus one is the biggest species. Biggest means it is a large species. And next one is fascioli, which is specialized in case of common bean or rajma, are more common in subtropical regions. These are the species which are very common in the tropical regions, and they are also affect the like mung bean, urd bean, and different pulse crops. However, Calestobuncis rhodensinensis, Sunotatus are also present in tropical regions. Theobromine is also found in the pods of pigeon pea in India. What I want to tell you is here, like the insect are very, they have evolved much earlier than human being. So they are very advanced than us. They have a dormancy period. If they are in their inactivity, this is also called their inactive stage. And in case of brookids, it is very sharp, means it is very clever. So until it is very food specific, until and unless it will not going to get its food, it will not going to the produce its egg, and it will have only in their dormant stage. Means, but whenever it will find that the food is nearby it will again came into the active stage and the affect the crop. So that's how you can predict that how sharp is. If one insect is also in their lot, or in the small amount of in the small quantity of your uh, uh, of your grain, so it can leads to the a good amount of loss. So it is very important to make sure to control this insect by different kinds of controls measures. So in insect control measures and methods. First one is physical and mechanical method, that is in storage facility. As I have discussed earlier, that storage facility is very important because it is also one of the component which can which leads to losses of the post harvest loss in case of common bean, as well as in other cases also. Chemical methods. So there are different kinds of chemical. For example, malathion, pyrethrins, cyphrothrins, and different storage insecticide for structures, which can be used for the controlment of the insect and pest. Sanitations of the physical storage facility is very important, because for example, if you are using if you have previously stored a common bean in a same silo, and the whole lot has been finished. Now, if you haven't cleaned your sanitation, the previous insect or the eggs laid by the insect, it will going to affect the present crop. So it make sure to for the sanitation after every lot, like if you have first lot has been finished, then you have to clean or make sure to for the sanitation, you have to make sure to clean that storage structure properly and spray chemicals so that the different inactive stages or the active stages can be finished or killed by the animals from these chemicals, and so that it will not going to affect the next or subsequent grain. Exclusion also. Integrated pest management approach, as we have discussed earlier, that different kinds of oils and plant parts, neem. So it can also be and chemicals also. So different integrated approach can be management approach can be used to control the insect. Fumigant are also available. For example, magnesium or aluminum phosphide. They can be used to eradicate the insect, store green pests, pest, for example, bouquets and other insect. So these are the machineries used in processing of in pulses or as well as in common bean. Means I'm talking about the both of the things in common bean as well as in other crops also. Horizontal cyclone separator, it is used to particulate matter, other impurities by air suspension, weight differences. It can be used for the different kinds of removing the dirt particles and particulate matter also. Destoner, it is as it is clear from the name only that it is designed to remove the stone from the given product, which is in case of pulses, and also used in the different food grains. Emery roll dehusker. It is a machine which is utilized emery roll to remove outer skin of the pulses. Suppose if in case of common mean, if you don't want a floor of the your peel, so you can remove that uh, peel of the grain. Next is classifier separator. This machine is used to separate whole dehusked pulse from the husk. It and in comparison to other pulses. Means, now there are a very bold varieties are also there, but um, yes, it can also be so it has a very small grain in comparison to other pulses. So it is majorly designed for the lentil. Pulse grader. This machine used to separate pulse into unbroken, partially broken, and broken dal. Or if you have a grader, if you have a different sizes of grains, so it can also be graded into different sizes. In case of common vein, also it can be used for grading from small seeded or large seeded. You can also use this machine for if some of the common bean varieties are having a long and bold seeded, and some of the varieties are having small seeded, and some are having small seed. So you can also separate by grading that, right? Yes. Next comes is packaging and processing. Proper packaging is an important element in reducing the loss, especially in case of tropics. The main function of packagings are to permit easy handling, whether manual or it is mechanical, to reduce product losses by theft, because it is also one of the case in case of packaging, to protect the product from external attacks by humidity, insect, sunlight, humidity and temperature, everything. It is very major in case of every post harvest system, because it will directly spoil your seed in case of your processing it, seed, grain, or the secondary processing after the product which where you are getting, it can also be get spoiled by these things, because it directly leads to the generation of fungus or molds or the insect, right? So next is pulses are packed in proper way to protect from moisture loss and insect like bruchids, beetles, using cellophane, polyethylene, piece, cardboard boxes, and polyethylene bags. So these are the different kinds of storage or materials which can be used for storing or packaging. Packaging process, a number of plants fiber like jute, cotton, sisal are used for making bags for the packaging of grains. This is a cloth bag. This is a propylene bag, jute bag, sisal bag. So these are the different structure and the different kinds of bags which can be used for packaging common grain as well as in the pulse or cereals system. In general, volumetric automatic filling system and vertical type packaging machines are used for packaging. Nowadays, a notable trend is in the seed storage sector is increasing involvement of the private sector. Private sector are coming with their different kinds of new technologies in case of seed structure, seed storage structures. These companies bring advanced technologies, expertise, and investment, which have led to the improvement in the seed storage infrastructure, capacity, and quality controls. There are different big companies uh, which are ready to store your seed or your grain for the subsequent season, and they have a different kinds of schemes for storing. Either you can give them a grain, or you can give them a benefit. Means it's totally up to you that what type of scheme you want. So these are the things. This expansion of private sector loan has contributed to the enhancing the efficiency and effectiveness of the seed storage operations, ensuring better seed preservations and availability for the farmers. Yes, it is very true that they are definitely going to benefit the farmers and have the profit in the pocket of farmers, because if uh, the less post harvest, or if the less loss of the seed is going to have, the farmers will get more profit in comparison to the traditional system. Now there are some value addition products in India for a common bean. First one is common bean flour. It is a it can be get by the processing after making it flour. Secondary processing or primary processing. Primary processing is case of cleaning, grading, and everything. And the bean flour is as is processed. Bean flour can be processed into a different kinds of preparing preparations like snacks, bakery products, like bakery biscuits, breads, and other things, and gluten-free food items. The flour is rich in protein and dietary fiber, making it nutritious alternative to the traditional flour system flour, traditional flours. So you can also mix it with the your normal bread flour, or you can process it for further making it another products. Next one is canned and processed beans. Canning and processing techniques are employed to preserve the flavor, texture, and nutritional value of the common beans. They are widely consumed in India as ready-to-use ingredients in curries, salads, and other culinary preparations. Dehydrated beans. Dehydration involves removing of moisture from common beans to extend their shelf life and make them lightweight and easy to store. Dehydrated beans can be rehydrated and used in soups, stews, and snacks. Uh, to be honest, these dehydrated beans can be in India. I'm talking about India. Mostly these dehydrated beans are used in for preparing rajma chawal, which is very famous in the Punjab region of India, as well as in other like Himachal Pradesh, and they also make this type of dishes. So this is the dish which is majorly prepared, and because it is not, we are not having it. Means we use it in general. We don't prepare rajma or common bean as a dal. We just use as a whole grain. In general, we normally in India, it's normally not in India, but in most of the places, it is used as a whole. It is not used as pulses. So next is bean-based spread and dips. Common beans can be processed into spreads and dips, offering a nutritious and tasty options for consumer. Bean-based spreads such as hummus made from chickpeas and beans, chip bean dips provide protein-rich alternatives to the traditional spreads like butter and mayonnaise. Bean-based beverages. Common beans can be utilized as plant-based milk alternative. These beverages are consumed by individuals seeking lactose-free or vegan options and provide rich source of different kinds of uh, minerals, matter, and other things. If you are preparing milk from these pulses and as well as in common milk, so it can be processed in another things also. So, what are the challenges and future directions? The challenges are addressing the challenges such as limited infrastructure, inadequate access to the technology, and lack of awareness is essential for the further streamlining post-harvest technology. As I have mentioned that nowadays people are like private companies are coming with the infrastructure, but in case of other another things, we are very lacking in that condition, and technology also. And people are not very much aware about all these things, by which they can reduce their post-harvest losses. Emphasizing the need of continued research, policy support, and investment in modern post-harvest technologies will drive future advancement. So there should be like research activities and policy support regarding the investment in modern post-harvest technologies, which will drive future, or if they have a um, good future in case of storage, processing, and milling, and reducing. So if we have a good technology in all these components, so the uh, and the losses will definitely going to decrease. Collaboration among the stakeholders, including farmers, researchers, policymakers, and industrialists, is a crucial for sustainable and efficient post-harvest system. Because it is important, because if the stakeholder is facing some problem, it will discuss with the farmers or the researchers. If the researchers will have any problem, it will going to ask with the stakeholders or farmers. Because uh, if they are having means if the researchers are facing problems, so what type of problems they are facing? Suppose the problem which is very is in less amount, it is related to the farming community, so he can discuss with the farmers. And if he's having the component which is related to the storage or different and related to the stakeholders, so it can be discussed with the stakeholders. So it is vice versa. Means farmers can also be have an option of including stakeholders, or stakeholders can also be asked with farmers and researchers. But until and unless they are not having the collaborations or these types of activities, so and the system will have some challenge for this. Next is
Mr. Anupam?
finally, yes,
Yeah,
madam.
sorry to interrupt. It's already 4. We have to take some questions also.
Just ma'am, yeah, I'm concluding it just in 1 minute. I'm concluding.
Okay.
Uh, okay. By implementing the best practices at every stage from harvesting to market access, we can ensure that a success of sustainability of common milk productions. Means we have to implement the activities at every stage so that it can be reduced. Educational workshop for farmers organized by the Ministry of Agriculture or any competent investment entity to develop farmers' competitiveness in many agricultural activities, as I have discussed earlier, like in the collaboration between, so that if the workshop will going to take place, so definitely the collaboration will going to increase, and they can discuss their problems. Value addition aims to increase the availability of commodity provides of farm employment opportunities, enhance capacity building, increase trades, and get a pathway out of poverty. So that's all about the post-harvest system, and I want to acknowledge the director of IAPR, Dr. Baswaraj, Project PI, and Dr. Jesse Rana from the funding agency. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anupam, for a very detailed presentation. Now I'll take up quickly some questions. It's already 4. I'll try to take as many as possible. So Mr. Mohan is asking, what's the best storage facility for a period of 2 years to store pulses?
Well, it's depend upon the means what type of how much investment or what are the quantity of you are having. Suppose if you are having if you are an industrialist, or if you are a means you are a company, so you have a best storage structure is like silo, or if you are a farmer, so the metal bins are the best structure for storing them. But it should be used by the chemicals treated, like as I have discussed, the chemical like sulfurs and other things.
Okay. And how does proper drying and curing contribute to the quality of Rajma?
Okay. Like if as I have discussed these things, if you will not going to if you will not going to decrease the moisture content of your grain, so it will affect the because moisture is very important for growing of any fungi, bacteria, and rodents and insects. So if it is in very a proper amount of moisture, so they will have a very less infestation or negligible infestation. But if you have if you will not going to dry, or it will not going to take it to the desired content of moisture, you will definitely going to lose your crop for that. So that's why we are not keeping we don't keep that crop as it is, like from we have harvested from the field and we will put into the storage structure. First, what we do, we will do dry to reduce the amount of moisture, then only we will go for the storage purpose.
Okay. And the recommended storage conditions for Rajma to prevent spoilage?
In general, it should have less than 15% of humidity, right? Or at 9 to 11% of moisture content, and means these are the major components by which means you should take care of these things. If you are using for it the seed purpose, so definitely you have to take it for chilling treatment. You have to put the seed into the fridge or a cold storage system, then only to prevent it from the losing viability of the seed. So that's how you can prevent this crop from prevent the Rajma from getting your viability loose or protect from the other things.
Mr. Mohan, can you rephrase your answer once again? And what methods can be employed to minimize losses during storage, Rajma storage?
Can you please repeat the question?
What methods can be employed to minimize losses during Rajma storage?
Yes, there are different methods which I have told you that from majorly it is moisture content and properly drying, pre-drying, and after drying, and the storage structures, the cleaning, sanitation, and the components which is related to the storage, that they all are important for the purpose of getting to get your loss of or very to means it will going to reduce the amount of moisture so that your crop will going to means keep safe from the insect.
Okay. And what are some best practices for transportation of Rajma to ensure minimal damage?
Yes. First, it should be in the vehicle should be very clean or sanitation before transporting, before putting your grain into the that vehicle. So it should be very clean, and removing of dirt particles, dirt matter of another crops, as well as it should be clean with from malathion or other insecticides, spraying of insecticide. After that, the crop which you are going to transport, it should be in a gunny bag, uh, or the best storage bags which can be used. You can keep them in keep that grain in that bags, and then after you can transport that from one place to another place. These are the means optimal conditions which can be used for transporting the Rajma.
Okay. And how does grading and sorting of Rajma contribute to market value?
Grading, actually, it depends upon the consumer interest. For example, in case of India, in general, I'm talking about, there are only if you talk about the Rajma, so most of the people have their have their mind that it is red and red and a long grain. That's it. But if you see the diversity of a Rajma, you can see that left side of the screen, there are different types of colors like Pinto and other types of. So, but we are aware of only this type of Rajma, right? So it depends upon the consumer interest and the size. But in case of Latin American countries and African countries, they prefer different types of different colors of Rajmas and different colors and size of Rajmas. So grading and sorting, it totally depends upon the market value. What type of or the market demand, what type of people, what kind of people they want. So in general, I have described that we are in Indians mostly are aware of the red one only. But this is the means the grading as per the color, shape, and size also. There are very diverse diversity in this. So yes, it totally depends upon the consumer interest.
Okay. Now I will take up the last question. Yeah. What are some, sorry, are there any recommended quality standards or certifications for Rajma post harvest handling?
Sorry,
1 second.
can you please repeat the question?
Yeah. Are there any recommended quality standards or certifications for Rajma post harvest handling?
Okay. Right now there is means it is served as a minor pulse crop. So there are means there is no any standard, but in general means in case of seed or storage structures, storage facilities, you can opt for the standard procedure for which can be which are used in other crops. There is no any things which are standardized only for the Rajma, as the reason behind this is it is served as a minor pulse crop. Major pulse crop is chickpea, pigeon pea, another one. But you can also use their condition in case of Rajma, which I have discussed all the things in earlier. For example, everything from storage, from harvesting to storage.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Mr. Anupam, there are no more questions from our participants. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we'd like to thank you for a detailed presentation and answering all the questions. And we also like to thank all the participants for joining this meeting. The meeting will now be closed.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, most welcome. Thank you.